Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Super Robot Wars Time to Leave. It's me, and it's time to leave.
Do you not just love it when, like, it's one thing that we keep bringing up stupid, dumb comic book shit that happened, like, you know, years and decades ago, but then sometimes the gift just gives again, and you get something that you could just, and then something happens, you can just say, wow, Wonder Woman raped a man in 2020.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, have you not heard this thing?
No, I've kind of fallen off of comic books for the most part. What happened?
So apparently, it's not actually in comics, it's in the new movie. So apparently in the new movie, like, Steve Trevor's soul or spirit or whatever takes over this, like, this man's body.
Okay.
And then he and Wonder Woman have the sex, but, like, you know, that guy didn't consent. So, technically, should they rape him?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. That's what I say. Don't you just love it when you don't have to dig up Super Horse, when you can just say, yeah, Wonder Woman raped a man in 2020. I guess technically 84, but granted, this is all just like second-hand information because HBO Max doesn't exist in this country. So even if I wanted to watch it,
I don't know if I have access to all of the maps. Oh, I don't think I do have access to the bonus stuff. Oh.
Well. So,
well,
yeah, no.
Well, shit. Well, regular map it is.
I've heard not great things about 1984, but I've also not really looked into it, so I'm not prepared to, like, commit and say something about a film that I have only the passing knowledge of, that there is a apparent rape.
Yeah, I've only heard that someone say that. I don't know because the movie isn't out, and, you know, people do make up bullshit.
Isn't it out? I thought it was out on HBO Max.
Oh, is it?
Already.
I don't know.
Because a lot of people, because I've seen people like review, like.
Well, the thing is, like, to give you an idea, I've heard, like to give you an idea. So, Cyberpunk in general is a fucking mess. Don't get me wrong in the slightest. But there was like a rumor that was going around, and a lot of people were repeating and saying it was true, that if you had a circumcised dick, you were out of, or uncircumcised. I can't remember which one it was, where you were out of dating options, but that isn't actually true. Don't get me wrong, though, Cyberpunk is a train wreck, but that one wasn't really true.
I find that phrase offensive, man.
What?
Train wreck. I don't want my good name to be associated with Cyberpunk. To be fair,
Shipwreck?
Like, yeah, we'll allow shipwreck. Fuck boats. Do you know who had boats? The Nazis.
You know who had a very, very famous, powerful navy at one point?
Spain?
No.
You never heard of? Yeah, they did.
Well, yes, but no, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
America?
The British Royal Navy.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I bet.
So it can't have been that good.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I've not really. I'll be honest. I wasn't that interested in Cyberpunk because, like, I haven't played The Witcher. Saying they're bad. They're just. The only one I tried playing The Witcher 1, and I just could not get into it, and then I can't bring myself to play Witcher 2 and 3, which I'm informed are good. But just, yeah, I need to play the first one because that's just the kind of OCD I have,
So, my experience with Witcher... So, I wasn't just Cyberpunk because I do like those kind of games, you know, open world RPG thing, though apparently the RPG part of the game is barely existent.
You play the role of a man with a penis, and sometimes a small penis, or sometimes no penis at all because you're a woman. I don't know.
But it's so anyway, the reason I think I probably mentioned recording what made me walk away from it.
The insane amount of delays that happen, and then
not the delays,
including a delay that was like immediately, like a week before it was supposed to come out, they delayed it, and then it dropped out. By the way, there's about a 50 gigabyte day zero patch.
Not even that. So
the question I do have to wonder before you get into that though is how unplayable was the game before it shipped? If that was like
depends on which version you bought.
I mean, PS4, from what I understand, PS4 and Xbox One are just literally unplayable anyway.
Yes, they are literally unplayable.
It's the Skyrim. It's the exact thing we went through, like
with Skyrim. Yeah, we've talked. Yeah. It's that same shit, and I brought that up to people, and I just tend to get ignored when I bring that up. That Skyrim did that exact same shit.
I literally had this argument with many people.
And don't get me wrong, I am not okaying Bethesda in the slightest.
Oh, good. I know you're not, because we've done nothing but rag on them for like
a couple years now.
Yeah, ever since I think Skyrim was literally the point where we were like, just fuck this company, right?
Yeah, you were ahead because you were doing that with Fallout 3.
I said Fallout 3
New Vegas.
Was
it was around New Vegas. I really liked, but I've learned more as time went on. I learned it was mainly because of Obsidian, and
you like Fallout New Vegas despite it being
published by Bethesda.
Because and let's be honest, let's be completely fair. That game was that game was intended to be dead, to be bad and killed.
Yeah,
they did not give it a fucking chance.
Yeah, like Bethesda did everything in their power to try to sabotage that game. And honestly, from the way I'm reading, like Todd Howard's shit when it comes up, and how like he doesn't want to have another company do another like Fallout New Vegas sort of thing, is that I think he's actively angry that people like Fallout New Vegas and like it more than his games.
Yeah, like wasn't there even a thing with like 76 where like basically every game but Fallout New Vegas had like some representation?
Yeah, until they ended up having
and then they just flat out stole it.
Yeah, they took the Ranger armor and put it as a DLC thing, which is hilarious because I know I've mentioned this in one of the videos, but I'll just mention it real quick. So one of the things that Bethesda did not allow Obsidian to do for New Vegas was make a brand new set of power armor. So Obsidian's way around that was to make the Ranger armor, which is basically where, in lore, the Rangers get a hold of power armor. They don't know how to fucking really use it properly, so they take out all the parts all the robotic parts of it and just turn it into like really good just plate armor essentially.
It's kind of like how Stellaris takes like Warhammer 40k and then strips out just enough so you don't go, wait a second, this is just Warhammer 40k races.
Yes. So that's what they did because they weren't allowed to make power armor. Because like the more from Skyrim, I learned more and more about the troubled development of Fallout New Vegas and how they kind of were just fucked. And, like, the whole, like, bonus stuff and all that shit.
Well, I always remember there was the infamous, like, I think it was an interview with, like, I forget if it was Polygon or Kotaku, but it was an interview with one of the developers where they basically admitted, like, the whole, oh, yeah, so we had this deal where if, like, we got a 80% Metacritic score,
they would get a bonus, yeah.
We got a bonus. And then, like, when we submitted stuff to the QA team, they were told no.
They basically, basically Bethesda was supposed to, do the bug testing for it, and then Bethesda did their bug testing. We've played a Bethesda game, we know this is their bug testing.
Well, that's the stupid thing, is apparently I've heard that the QA team at Bethesda is actually really, really good.
Oh,
the difference
yeah.
is nobody listens to them.
So basically they're just and that actually happens with a lot of QA teams, not even just Bethesda, but that is something that I've heard about, and it's something that is like a real issue, and why a lot of QA workers just fucking hate it, because they're basically told to do all this stupid shit, and then nobody listens to them.
Yeah, because they get, like, I think it's that they get, like, they get, well...
And their pay is shit.
I don't want to say, like, patch notes, but yeah, they kind of get, like, note, whenever they post out bugs, they get, like, documents through that will say, like...
Fuck you.
Well, I think... Yeah, basically. Well, they'll say, will not fix. Which means that they register that is a bug, and they're aware that it's a bug, but they're just going to choose not to do anything. And I imagine that's literally what happens with the Bethesda QA team and everything.
Yeah, except for with every bug.
Yeah, it's like...
So like...
Yeah, hey, we have this mountain of... It's like, it's hilarious when it's even bad enough that it's the same bugs across games because they just copied code.
Yeah. And now, I will be fair, every game has bugs in it, and there are bugs that they just go, okay, this isn't important enough for us to deal with or fix.
I don't think it's unreasonable to have bugs in a video game, especially as they become more complicated. Like, that is just a natural progression of things. I mean, hell, you only have to watch like any speedrun of any game to understand that bugs will always exist in some capacity.
Yeah, changing any small line of code or adding a line of code can make a fucking hell somewhere else in the fucking program.
The problem is Bethesda routinely does not fix even the most basic bugs. Like, it says a lot when the common argument, and this was the exact problem we had with Skyrim, is, well, we'll just let the community fix it. And
yeah.
As I think I've said before, the only reason people are actually butt mad about Fallout 76, or were as upset about it as they were, is because it's the first time the community couldn't fix it.
Yeah, because they were literally not allowed. And I think before the game came out, like, right away I was like, I do not want to play an online-only Bethesda game. That's not a good idea. And I'm pretty sure there's probably a recording somewhere of us talking about it, and before the game come out, predicting that when people realize they can't fix it, they're all going to turn on this game. I'm pretty sure there is one where we literally say those exact words.
Yeah.
So, you know, the Cassandras of Gaming are here. How you doing?
I mean, it's not as if it's difficult to predict.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like how many times have we predicted the exact thing? And not like in, say, in the comment section for these videos, but like in general, have just been told, no, we're wrong. Why would that be? No, you're wrong. What are you, stupid? And then we're right.
To paraphrase that meme, people decried Jesus too, even though he spoke the truth.
Like, what was it? I remember I had several conversations with people. This is more in the vein of being Cassandra, basically. I was, this was back with the Persona Striker stuff, is I was predicting right away that, like, when Hyrule Warriors got announced and they weren't still announcing Strikers, I right away was saying, hey, I think we're probably going to hear something about Strikers after Legend of Zelda comes out, because they're similar games and you're not beating Zelda. And they waited too long to release the game because it's Atlas, and of course that's what they do. And I remember people saying, but why would they do that? I was like, because it's a Zelda game, and it's a very similar type of game. But they have different fan bases, yes, but there's overlap, and Zelda is still way bigger than Persona could ever be.
Because of the few people who play these games because they like Dynasty Warriors, it's the question of, why would you compete? Why would a company release two similar games within a close enough time frame to compete with one another?
Yeah.
And then you look at Ubisoft and you're like, oh, right, because they're morons.
Or Arc Systems. Because Arc Systems does it a lot.
Well, Arc Systems like goes quiet for like a fucking decade, and then suddenly they're like, okay, yeah, so we've made like 400 2D fighters that are not the same, but share a lot of similar mechanics. So it's like, yeah, there's a new BlazBlue, yeah, there's fighters, yeah, there's Guilty Gear, yeah. Also, we were doing this cross tag battle thing, yeah. Also, Kill la Kill, and it's like,
oh yeah, and also Grand Blue. Oh, and also some other gacha game they just announced getting a fighting game.
So it's like, like, Arc Sys went quiet for fucking ever, and now they've decided never again. There will never be a month in the year where there's not an Arc Sys game coming out.
Yeah. It really feel like that, though. But yeah, Bethesda fucked up in the fact that they made an online game where people couldn't edit it, and people finally turned on it. But anyway, in the vein of Cyberpunk, because that was the original point.
Get back to the current.
Because we kind of like derailed for like a good couple minutes there. So with Cyberpunk, the whole restrictions they had on what reviewers could and could not do, the fact that they could only play the PC version, that was the only version they were allowed to review. They weren't allowed to use their own footage, so they were supplied with footage. Were all massive red flags to me, because I did have it pre-ordered originally. Funny enough, on the version that doesn't work. And I looked at all that, and I was like, that's a problem, and I canceled my pre-order, because I was just like, I do not like how this is boding. This looks like shit. And I was right. Apparently the PC version, though, is okay, but it does have its share of issues. I watched Medi stream it, and one of the funniest things I saw was during one of the interactive cutscenes. There's a part where the car gets pulled over at like a cops check station, and so the cop's supposed to walk over to the window. You talk to them, and you leave. When the cop goes to walk, instead of walking, her arms stay crossed, and her legs just start floating like she's a wizard.
Well, it's pretty punk.
And I kind of just I lost my shit. I was like, Magneto, what are you doing here?
What? No, it's not Magneto. It's just functions. Any character can have an 8-way dash.
I am Magneto, master of magnet. Kill you.
He is thwarted by a wooden gun, though.
A wooden gun. I saw an edit of that where they ended it with a gunshot.
Well, I just find it funny that he gets arrested, and it's like, how did you turn off my powers? And it's like, I didn't, it's a wooden gun. And Magneto doesn't instantly go, oh, okay then, and then just break out because everything's made of metal.
Right.
It's really nice of him, it's really, like, honest of him to just go, yeah, alright, it's a fair cop.
Alright, you got me.
I'll go to prison, sure.
That's called lawful evil, I guess. Yeah, fuck you in, I guess. But I'll get you next time, Richards. Ooh.
I feel stupid.
Maybe he was so humiliated. He's just like, God, I need to. You know what? Yeah, I belong in here.
He was like, man, that's some bullshit. I'm gonna go pretend to be Zorn.
I
But then no, turns out it was Zorn pretending to be Magneto, pretending to be Zorn.
hate it.
Or what the fuck ever that was.
I hate it. But
But, yeah, Cyberpunk.
yeah, that's pretty much it with Cyberpunk. Cause I will say it is nuts though that like that game ended up getting pulled from the store when I've seen like so much worse.
It's because Cyberpunk's incredibly high profile, though.
I mean, no, I want to point out 76 didn't. 76 was worse.
Yeah, but
Like in
76
every way.
But I think the difference is like 76 could be run. Like from what I understand, Cyberpunk on like consoles is just literally unplayable. So, like I said,
Oh, I do know that it was having an issue with PCs. It was the same exact issue that Skyrim had with consoles. The one where the save file would get too big for it to run.
Yeah.
It was having that. That was another one I would bring up. I was like, oh, so it's like the Skyrim thing, and everyone just ignores me. I love it whenever I critique Skyrim and everyone just flees the room like someone farted.
It's because it's everyone's favorite game on like whichever platform they decide to play it on. And there I am, like,
It's not a good game.
I don't want to support a company that like literally does this every single time.
Right.
Like, I do love that you see people go, man. Do you think the controversy around Cyberpunk will make people will make game companies like change their ways? It's like, fuck no. It's literally it got like Cyberpunk's the most like egregious example today. But like every fucking year has the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, hell, like we're literally talking about Bethesda doing this shit, and they've gotten away with it for literal years. And only like one day, people are like, "Oh, wait a minute," and slap them on the wrist for a minute.
Make it sound as if they realize and they didn't go, "Oh, it's fine. We'll just let the mods fix it. It's an online game. Mods can't do anything." Burn the witch.
Yeah.
Basically what happened.
Yeah, no, it's literally what happened. And it's dumb as all hell. But, no, there'll be another one of these. Like, the only thing that had any kind of, like, mark whenever it was a controversy was the loot box thing, because they don't really show up much anymore. But, like, that's like a one. That's like one I can point to and be like, yeah, there was one here.
The difference is loot boxes had much wider implications beyond just like...
and there were like government officials looking into it versus just fucking a bunch of people on the internet.
It's literally changed the way laws have been in a couple countries
in
terms of gambling.
It
is a much larger social issue in that sense.
Yeah.
I think the sort of more possibly comparable thing is it's like how games as a live service is a concept that is thankfully just kind of been forgotten.
Yeah. I mean, there are still some trying, but it's died off.
Yeah, but I think Avengers like catastrophic just like downfall has been the final nail in the coffin. But I think the thing with games as a live service is none of them were like really successful. By which I mean, okay, so like you're looking at like a lot of it feels like the people saw Destiny in like when it was before it came out, and everyone assumed Destiny will be the shit. And don't get me wrong, Destiny was clearly a big property, but I'd hardly say it was like the mega smash hit success of whatever year it came out, like 2016 or something.
Destiny, I remember people hyped it up, and then it happened, and then it
just sort of, then it came out, and people didn't super care. Like, I'm not saying people didn't enjoy it, and I'm not even saying they were bad games, but I think Destiny was not like the major success everyone was expecting it to be. And so, like, when EA had put all their money on Anthem at the expense of killing Mass Effect, then that also has the same issues.
Yeah.
And I think probably the most successful one I can think of is something like Warframe. But then the difference is Warframe was free.
Yeah, Warframe's a free-to-play game.
And so, but there is another thing in that, like, say Anthem and Destiny or whatever, because you have to pay upfront for those, there's greater, and I think it even, like, can apply to, like, Genshin Impact, and why that's become so popular beyond just the waifus. But it's like, because there is no expectation on the game that's free, it's like, well, you get what you pay for. So it's like, if it's decent, fine. But if there's bugs, or bugs or flaws, then it's not, like, a huge deal. Whereas if you spend, like, $60 on a game, and that game is just like mediocre or bad or has no content or doesn't work, to tie it back to Cyberpunk, then yeah, people are pissed.
Actually, dumb aside, actually speaking of the save file thing, I know apparently that Project Red said that they're gonna. I don't know if they've already fixed it or if they're working on fixing it, but that actually does remind me with Bethesda, kind of another jab at them is. Back when the bug was first a thing with the PS3 version,
literally the response was we won't fix it. Buy it on PC.
Yeah, and that was their response until the Better Business Bureau came knocking at their door.
Bureau was like, yeah, no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
because
we'll sue you.
And they were like, oh no, I hope we don't get in trouble with these guys again.
It'd be a shame if we ever did that again. Oof.
Smash cut to
Leroy the bag. Leroy the bag.
I mean, you just do question like the fact that at some point CD Projekt Red must have known that like how like unplayable the console version.
Considering they kept saying that the PS4 version, the last gen versions, quote quote, were running surprisingly well. I would say there's no way in hell he didn't know.
So you just question at that point, why didn't they just say, you know what, we're going to cancel it, but what we'll do is, if you've like got it if you've pre-ordered it, you have the option to like either keep the pre-order and get the next gen version, like how they're doing the free upgrade thing, or just if you want to cancel the pre-order, then that's fine. But because if they'd have done that, I don't think this would have been nearly the issue, because A, the PC version runs a lot better, as we know, and also it would have been like they're being honest, and I definitely think it would not have been the controversy, because I do kind of think, even though 2077 has done well, and is well liked, that this kind of thing is so marked against it, that I think it will definitely mean that 2077 will not hit like the hype levels of Witcher.
And also it'll be a permanent like stain on CD Projekt.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, because you're talking about how you with The Witcher, I actually do want to say my piece on that. So Witcher 1 I tried, couldn't get into. I really didn't like how it felt. I then tried Witcher 2. Same. Actually, the issue I had with that was I was in a tutorial where it kept telling me to do a thing, and I kept doing that thing, and it kept saying, no, you're not doing that thing. And I just said, okay, fuck this and fuck you then. And then Witcher 3 came out, and I'm like, I'm not falling for this again.
I wouldn't be opposed to getting into it, but like as I said, I'd have to start with Witcher 1. And I honestly think what it was is it felt like playing The Witcher 1 felt like playing KOTOR, but somehow more jank. Like
can see
I'm
that.
not saying it's the same kind of thing, but it had a very kind of like stiff, staticky feel that KOTOR has. But KOTOR feels like charming because, hey, it's like a Star Wars game that's actually competent.
It's older. It's RPG.
It's older, it's a fucking Xbox game. It's
Yeah.
like Xbox classic. And yeah, it's PC, but like I just always remember that it ran on like Xbox Classic, even though I never owned one. But yeah, so it definitely felt like more jank, and I accept that at the time when that was made, CD Projekt Red was fucking nobody.
Yeah.
They didn't have Gwentland or whatever they've got now.
Yeah, it wasn't really until 2 when it really got big, and then 3 was even...
I think Witcher 2 was like kind of... It was one of those sort of like I think it was one of those games where it was like almost Crysis in terms of how it was pitched, and that consoles can't run this, so they have to be. It's the mark of a true PC gamer is if your machine can run this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because Wild Hunt definitely had like shades of that, from what I remember, but it then also got a proper console port that people like. So
yeah, it's weird.
It'd be as I said, it'd be one thing if it was just like they just were, we just develop games exclusively for PC. That's fine, because they clearly are at home at making games on PC.
Yeah,
a lot of their fan base on the PC. They do feel like they've definitely shot themselves in the foot with this Cyberpunk thing. I mean, I'm sure it's still a good game, or at least it's a game that people can enjoy. Because I don't know, man. I need something like special about like a free roam RPG to really kind of like
honestly, honestly, I'm more interested right now in just like going back and just replaying Outer Worlds or buying the DLC that I still don't have.
Yeah,
because I really like Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds is really fucking good.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when Obsidian don't have Bethesda literally trying to sabotage. Actually, no, tell a lie. Bethesda did try and sabotage Outer Worlds. They just fucking failed at it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because then, like, when Outer Worlds came out, they kept on trying to, like... They kept on, like, basically pushing New Vegas stuff to, like, steal... that was when they were like, oh yeah, let's rebrand all this New Vegas stuff into Fallout 76. And I think it was literally...
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think it was, like, around the time that they tried... that Outer Worlds was coming out, they made that Fallout First thing.
Yeah, you're right.
To pay $100 to have exclusive privileges in Fallout 76 and then be involved in class warfare.
I still fucking love how that turned into class warfare. That is like the funniest fucking thing to me. I have never seen something like that in a video game before. I'm sure it probably exists, but it's the first time I've seen it.
It was I think it's the first time it's happened in like such a highly publicized way.
It was so funny. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They did try stealing their thunder like that, and it didn't work because the developers, which originally they were like, "Hey guys, stop shitting on Bethesda," and then they just kind of got quiet about it. But it was because in the thing they said from the developers of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And it was around that time, which they probably, honest to God, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't trying to shit because they had like, hey, we would still like to work with people because they are still a third party. They probably just did it as a way to be like, hey, New Vegas is popular. We worked on New Vegas. This game is in a similar vein to it, gameplay style wise. Let's just let them know that we're the people that developed it. Yeah, that'll do.
I mean, I'm pretty sure New Vegas is the Fallout game that is looked upon most favorably these days.
Yeah, usually, if you were to ask a Fallout fan which one is their favorite, they're typically either going to say 2 or New Vegas.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those two.
So I think it's half of that, and also just...
Unless you get someone who's really snarky and they're like, I like Wasteland.
But yeah, so it's like, it's that kind of thing where I don't feel like, I don't think it was a matter of necessarily wanting to... I don't think they actually do want to work with Bethesda anymore. Like, it was like incredibly messy, like the whole thing that went through with them.
Yeah.
Although, now they're both owned by Microsoft, aren't they?
Obsidian, it might be. I'm not sure. I know, Exile, the company that made the Wasteland 2 and 3, is owned by Microsoft now. Though Brian Fargo, the guy who was like one of the main one of the biggest people behind like Fallout 1, 2, Wasteland 1 through 3, is now retired from the game industry. 3 was basically his last hurrah before he was retiring. I mean, that guy got fucked over so many times working on games, so I can't blame him. He's had like things of his taken from him by rights and all kinds of shit. Like, it was a war just to get Wasteland back for him. He was going for that for years.
I mean, the game industry is dog shit for anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
You know, I just realized this map, I think, is the last time that I end up using Priscilla and the Elidora Soul. The one where you get the Mazinger Z.
I mean, once again, there's too many actually good units in this game.
Yeah.
So it becomes really hard to just have the jank people that you like. So they have to be thrown out with the trash.
Though I do use the entire Rayearth squad, though Hikaru is head and shoulders above the other two.
Yeah, but the difference is the entire Rayearth squad are still useful because they have really powerful like combo attacks
And really good spirit commands too. Like Fu gets 4C. She can fucking use 4C on anybody.
And also Fu having the healing magic is actually also incredibly useful. So what they
you give her repair skill, and Allenby is no longer your main medic.
But yeah, so it's like what they're like they're dragging, they're like these machine gods, whatever they're called, rune gods.
Rune gods.
Whatever their rune gods are like lacking in terms of power, they make up for in utility, especially when you just like, you know, you stack all three of them together, and then hey, you unleash that, you know, combo move of theirs that deals fuckloads of damage, and you know, Hikaru learns love, and love's really good for finishing off bosses.
Yeah. Hikaru is really fucking good. Like I've learned that.
The only thing is Rune God is incredibly slow.
Yeah, that's the one downside. I guess she had to have something.
I mean, they've just formed the trio, in that you have Umi is like fast. Fu has long range, so her like movement doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah. Umi is fast and fragile.
And then Hikaru is like being like melee, or focused almost entirely around fighting in honorable melee combat. She has she's the tankiest, but by virtue the slowest.
Yeah, and again for the audience, when that route split happens, we're gonna go with their route. Actually, the hardest route for me is going to be the very next one in my own playthrough, the one that's after that one, because I'm like, ooh, but I like a lot of things in both sides.
Which one's that?
It's the one after the split that gets you Hikaru in them. It's one split will give you Amuro, the other split you can get Master Asia points.
You don't super need the Master Asia points. I think the Amuro route's better. Like, the Master Asia requires very few points to actually get.
Yeah, I think you only need like 6, and I think I'm probably in my own playthrough almost there already. Already there.
You get 4 in like the mandatory stages anyway, so like getting Master Asia is not difficult. It's not like Haman, but Haman's only difficult because like she's literally competing against like Shah.
Yeah, because I did see the 3 route split. There's basically there's 2 route splits that will basically guarantee you either Shah or Haman, and there's the 1 route split where you have to work a little bit, but you can get them both.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at that, because that was the one I decided to do, because I do want to try and get them both. I know the one difference is I think the split where you work with Haman, you get the Hainu a little bit sooner, because you're dealing with Shah's bullshit more.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna like say something that's a bit like fucking miserable. We're recording this on Christmas Eve, not Christmas Eve, but New Year's Eve. So
yeah.
We're recording this on New Year's Eve, and there's just a whole bunch of stuff trending at the moment. People saying, from across the world, we say hello to 2021, and I'm like, you guys really think 2021 is gonna be this magical reset button?
A lot of people think that with years, and that's kind of. I honestly, I realized that even when I was younger, That's why, like, I don't really make I have not made a New Year's resolution since I was probably in elementary school.
But I mean, the main thing.
I know that probably sounds depressing for somebody, but.
Well, the main thing is obviously people are like, man, this year's been shit, and it's like because of the pandemic and all this.
Yeah.
It's like, you really think that's not? If you really think we're just gonna get to the 1st of January and COVID's gonna be like?
No, it's gonna be with us
I've had enough now. I've had enough now. Bye, guys.
I mean, people thought that when it became summer. I mean, there's literally like, what was it? I heard. So, I work retail. For the audience. I literally heard. I do like basically I'm a janitor, and I was cleaning a spill, and the customer's stuff was on the end of the belt, not on the belt, but like on that like metal like thing. And like, I just asked, "Hey, is this yours?" She's like, "Yes." And I then like went to my cart, grabbed a glove because I wasn't gonna touch their thing with my dirty janitor hands, and I was basically gonna sanitize my hands, put on the glove, and then push it. And she's like, "Oh no, you can just push it. I'm not that. I'm not that crazy. The pandemic ended a long time ago." And I just kind of looked at her. I did as she asked, but I looked at her like, "Are you crazy?" Okay.
You should have just looked at her and gone, you what, mate?
I can't.
You can.
No, I literally can't. I can get in trouble for that.
Look, just do what I do, which is learn how to like, which is learn how to say like stupid things in as many different languages as possible. Like, I've made it a goal that I want to learn. I want to learn how to say I can't speak English in as many languages as possible. I might have even said this before, just so that if people stop you on the street, you can just pretend like you don't speak the language.
I mean, the closest thing I think to that, it just reminds me of one of the few Family Guy bits that was funny. It was like, no, I don't understand English. I only can say that and also this explaining it. What? Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of the few Family Guy bits that's actually really fucking funny.
Just walk out, me no habla anglais, And they'll probably leave you alone if they just think you can't speak the language. Especially funny if you learn how to do it in like a language where you clearly like don't have the look as if you'd speak that language, shall we say. Like just say it in Mandarin.
Wait, that could work. I could literally ask one of my coworkers. She immigrated from China years ago and knows how, and so obviously she can speak Mandarin Chinese. I could literally ask her to teach me.
Yeah, get her to teach you how to say I don't speak English in Mandarin.
She probably actually no. She knows me enough. She'd probably laugh and ask me why do I want to know that.
So you can get out of having to talk to people. Life hack, learn how to not speak people's languages. I mean, the easiest answer is just damage the language center of your brain and the problem solved forever, right?
Yeah, but then I can't read shit.
I'm not advocating brain damage, but I'm not dissuading people from it either.
I like reading shit too much. I don't want to do that.
But then you can make it so everything's an adventure of when you're reading. Then maybe you can go on to make the next Dark Souls by not understanding what you're reading and having in the blanks.
Don't get me started on making fun of Dark Souls. Nobody likes it when I make fun of Dark Souls. I like though one guy I talked to who fucking really likes Dark Souls. He gets mad at me when I talk about it. He's like, Dan hates it because he's bad at the game, and I'm like, no, I hate it because I don't like the mechanics of the game. I understand them. I don't like them.
Yeah, just the fact you're bad at the game just has nothing to do with it.
I mean, if the counter system was fucking intuitive and it wasn't on a specific frame, I understand the frame. I just hate the timing that it does. It feels like shit. Kind of like how I don't like how the parry system works in Smash Ultimate versus the previous edition.
Parries in Smash Ultimate, you just spot dodge down smash.
It's not as good. So, the way it used to work was you would just tap it real quick before you get hit, and it works. Now what you do is you hold it, get hit, and you let go as soon as you get hit. And it just doesn't feel as, intuitive.
Like I said, why parry when you can dodge, when you just not be hit?
Yeah, so, but honestly,
like every match is against Sephiroth or Min Min who can hit you from across the stage. God, I was literally playing around with Smash earlier today, and it was like it was like sort of a fucking, it was a free-for-all, and I had Min on random, and I literally just fought all 3 of them at once with Min.
Actually, that's how I beat Sephiroth in the DLC challenge mission on the highest difficulty. I was trying to beat him with Terry on that one, and I gave up at a point, grabbed Min, I just gimped him after, like, I think 3 or 4 tries.
I didn't manage to do it as Terry. I love playing Terry. I love what I call the true Terry combo, which is grab, up throw, jump,
Power dunk!
No, not power dunk. Not off of up throw. No, you want burn knuckle off of up throw, Dan.
Burning!
Yeah, it's like that's a true Terry combo. None of this jab power dunk.
I love the man.
Do not try fucking up throw into
Power dunk.
No, not up power dunk. Burn knuckle.
Oh.
Don't try up throw into burn knuckle. It will work maybe once, and it will never work again, unless they're idiots. In which case, they will just keep falling into it.
I mean, one of my favorite things in the early days of Terry Bogard was with the Go Sauce, where people would not be sure if the person that they're fighting against, who was Terry, could just constantly use the super moves. Again, and I learned the fun way that yes, I can constantly spam those. When I just kept doing Power Geyser every time he tried, and eventually he just died.
I like doing Power Geyser at the ledge like 3 times intentionally, so they can't hit. So when you do the 4th one and they get behind you, you reverse it. That's my Terry tactic. Power Geyser, Power Geyser, Power Geyser. Problem solved.
Though a lot of people now are wary of that and try to KO you as soon as, like, in that, like, sweet spot when you're gonna hit 100 but you're dead, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well.
But, those were fun times when it was just like, I bet you he won't figure out that I can, that he can just keep doing it, right? Oh, he did it again, that's fine. Maybe this time he won't do it. Ah, damn, he did it again!
I mean, at least... At least Terry's, like, comeback mechanic feels... At least it relies on some level of skill. It doesn't, like... And I don't even hate winged mode. Like, winged mode is actually fine, because it's the least, like, oppressive part of Sephiroth's kit, I've noticed.
Yeah.
It's not fucking Arsene, which turns Joker from an okay character to literally
S-tier.
Fucking Arsene is bullshit. The fact that Arsene, like, gives him so much launch power, and then also makes his down air spike is fucking nuts.
Just remember, whenever someone beats you with Joker, just remind them how much they paid for that victory. Man, that's like my old favorite joke whenever I'd play a game as a DLC character. I'd be like, I paid this much to win that fight!
It doesn't work quite as well now, because Byleth and Min are Banjo are all trash. Min is fun, but Min is also terrible.
I'm pretty good with Min, and I'm actually pretty good with Byleth. I was destroying some of my friends with it, and they all are fucking like I'm the only one who's happy about Byleth, and they're just mad getting beat by Byleth because they're mad that Byleth's in the game.
She just they just have so many weaknesses. They're just so slow in everything they do, and they're ridiculously easy to gimp with recoveries. I just don't like Byleth. I just don't like how Byleth played.
Yeah.
I also don't like Byleth was added.
Yeah, I know you don't.
It's lose-lose.
You were so mad. You're like, I'm never playing that game now.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. We have it recording.
I don't remember saying I'm never playing.
Yeah, you did. You did. It was in the Spider-Man videos. I'd have to dig it up, but it's in there.
You won't even dig up an episode that happened last week, so I don't have to worry about that.
He's right.
I really don't think I ever said I'm just.
If Sabo was here, he would be chiming in, but he's not because he's dead again.
I mean, bold of you to assume Sabo can remember anything from like 2 weeks, anything beyond like a week ago.
He might. It's possible. But anyway, The only character that I am not happy about being in the game is fucking Steve. Like, I understand it, but also no.
He just seems incredibly boring and uninteresting, what I've seen.
Yeah, it's almost like he was told to be added by fucking Nintendo, and Sakurai didn't want him in.
Something like that. I've played him, I played against him, I don't get it.
He's the only DLC character I don't own. And I don't really plan on buying him. Like, people are like, oh, Piranha Plant's a wasted spot. Piranha Plant's at least fun.
Piranha Plant also wasn't in the Fighter's Pass. Like, Piranha Plant you didn't get by... Or Piranha Plant didn't take up a slot in the... Which is kind of the reason I dislike Byleth.
I mean, he kind of does. They just didn't put him on the graphic. He does.
Yeah, he's not on the graphic.
He's not on the graphic, but he is.
But they didn't tell. But it's still like they said, "Oh, here you'll get these 5 characters or whatever it was, and then also here's a free free quote unquote sixth character." So it's like he takes up a slot, but also doesn't feel like it. But it's in the way where he doesn't feel like he's taking up a slot.
That's just because you're going with marketing bullshit. But Steve is the only one where I'm like, yeah, if I could, you're probably the one I would. No, you know what? I would delete Ice Climbers before you, because Ice Climbers never even had a good game. They really shouldn't be in it. I will say that forever, that Ice Climbers should not be in this video game.
People like their disjointed combos, man.
Yeah, but they don't deserve to be in the game because they were never in a good video game.
Can't let that just be the only criteria.
I feel like it should be. They don't deserve to be in Smash. The only good games they've been in were Smash.
Why Star Fox in then?
Star Fox had good games.
I mean, it had one good game.
Did you hear how I said that? I literally took out the S.
And even then,
actually, no, they had to, because there was one game that was actually a sequel on the GameCube. Not that one. I think it was called Assault. But, so, like, there is one. There's one. So I guess we can actually say zzz now.
Because I'm not even sure I count 64 anymore, because
64 is a remake of the SNES game.
And even then, it's like a lot of the features of 64 were fucking lifted from Argonauts. The company that made the first game.
Oh yeah, that was working on Star Fox 2.
Yeah, and not working. Finished Star Fox 2.
And then they were canned, and then Miyamoto fucking...
Literally, Miyamoto did the fucking meme of look, I made this, you made this, I made this.
Yeah, he literally canned the project, killed the game, grabbed it, and then picked its carcass to make his game. You know, kind of like what he did with Croc, actually. With Mario 64, remember?
Yeah.
That's another one. Miyamoto's a great guy.
He's a good businessman, I'll give him that.
Yeah. It's always funny when he's like, I just want to make games where people are nicer to each other. You mean like how you were with Argonaut? Shut up.
Well, that's why they're fantasy, man.
Because he was trying to do a thing where it's like, oh yeah, no Nintendo games cover heavy themes. I'm like, have you... Okay. I don't think you've paid attention to games that you've worked on. You know, this explains a lot to me, actually.
You know what, though?
I think he might be stupid.
I love how there's all these compilations of people who are like sad when they saw Geno react, and I think yours and my reaction was fucking good. Yeah,
I actually went, yes, good, where you belong, in the trash.
Get out of here, you shit. As far as I'm concerned, that's a wasted slot.
Yeah. If it was Mallow, I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
If it was literally anyone else... God, I'd have fucking taken a Yuffie fucking costume.
I feel like she should have got one. Oh, you know, that would have been even funnier. They just said, like, we're not going to do a Geno costume. They give Yuffie a costume instead.
You know what? Should have been a Moogle.
Yeah?
Should have been Mog.
You're right. I'm sharpening my knife, Kupo. I love that Moogle so fucking much.
Yeah, so you just question. So yeah, you just wonder. So yeah, you and I just like, man, fuck Gino. I'm glad he's dead.
Fuck Gino, all my homies hate Gino.
Just you and me fucking beating on that corpse. Get him! Get him!
What? It's literally the scene from The Simpsons where all the Gino fans are around us going, "Stop! Stop! He's already dead!" Lord Almighty in heaven.
Gino had it coming. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I agree. Fuck Gino. All my homies hate Gino. Yes, I just said it and I'll say it again!
The only good Gino is a dead Gino.
Agreed. Fuck Gino. God. I
find it disheartening that more people are upset that Gino gets hard deconfirmed than were upset that Travis' fucking touchdown got deconfirmed.
Right?
It's like, it's Travis' touchdown!
You know, at this point in time, with how many years people have been asking for Gino, I seriously want to start asking them, have you played the fucking game he's from? Like, I honestly want to ask at this point. Because it's been so many years at this point, I'm willing to bet some of them are just doing it because a lot of people are doing it, you know? Kind of like fucking how Bandana Waddle Dee is a popular one that I fucking can't stand.
Well, let's be honest, Waluigi.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, even though I'm one of the people that wants Waluigi.
Yeah, you might want him, but like, you gotta admit, like, there are billions of other characters that could get in before Waluigi should even be considered.
Oh, you kidding me? These days, Waluigi ain't fucking getting in as long as Sakurai draws breath.
I mean, yeah, probably the death threats might have taken it too
I like my theory that that originally Waluigi was gonna be in the game, and then that happened, and then they're like, alright, and then Piranha Plant, you are now in?
I'd laugh if they made a fucking Wa Peach exclusively for the game, just so she gets in, or Wa Bowser is actually a good guy.
That would be funny. No, because then people would ask for Bowsette.
No, they'll ask for Wazette.
Oh yeah, they already do ask for Bowsette, even if she's not an actual fucking Nintendo character.
I mean, Nintendo basically disowned it and gone, no, stop, no. It's like how there was that fucking post like last week or something that said people were like, we don't want, not to say the word, Evangelion fan art, and I'm like, it's been like 30 years, guys, you're too late on that ship.
Wait, who said this?
I don't remember, I just saw it was like a thing.
I'm like, come on, then you already had to get rid of half the merchandise.
It's like 30 years too late for that. Maybe you shouldn't have had him jack off over that Comatose girl.
Or half the fucking merchandise for Evangelion, like Jesus Christ. Like honestly, getting like a merchandise of the robots until recently was harder than just getting a merchandise of one of the girls. Well, specifically of Rei or Asuka.
I mean, yeah, merchandise of the two girls.
The two literal girls, if you catch my drift.
Poor Misato. Poor Misato.
She gets more play these days, but usually with Western fans. Not quite like Kawakami, where everyone seems to be hot on her.
I mean...
Except I've hit that point with Kawakami where I'm just tired of seeing her. Not because of the character, but because of her fans.
I mean, it's also because, like, the actual, best adult character isn't romanceable in, say, P5, so...
Yeah, you can't romance Lola. Or Lala.
Yeah.
Fucking shame.
Damn shame.
No, we're fucking talking about Sai. God.
Yeah, I was talking about Sojiro.
Oh, that's also true.
Well,
Oh, that's awkward.
But yeah, so it's like Kawakami is the best bet, and also it's like, also I think it helps that like Persona 3 and 4 had pretty non.
Yeah, the cast that were outside of the main social links were just meh at best.
Well, it doesn't help in that the comparison is obviously the teacher from P3 who, in her social link, you don't know is you don't even know is the teacher until, I want to say, like, I know there's definitely like a point where she basically just flat out tells you that, oh yeah, I'm this school teacher and they've got this one student who, I shouldn't say it, but yeah, I would though. Like, there's literally that conversation in P3, and then in P4 they have the replacement teacher who is basically as thirsty as a man in the desert.
Yeah.
So there's not. So yeah, and also I think like the social 4-5 were also a lot more incidental. Like ones I'm thinking of, it's like we have the nurse who you don't see much of in P4. It's just basically there. It's like just keep saying more or less the same line over and over again of I'm evil. And then there's the adopted mother, which half of that S-Link is also her son, so, well, adopted son.
Yeah,
and
it's...
the
yeah.
couple in 3 who... they're an old couple. And also Tanaka, who's is admittedly like one of the best like S-Links in 3, but mostly because he's a fuckwit, and I like fuckwits.
Fair.
I think that might be it for adult S-Links in 3, actually. I think it is literally just the old couple and Tanaka. Oh, and the teacher. And then 4 is, I think, just the 2 plus the old lady.
Yeah,
Well, And Dojima, but doesn't that... But yeah, and then 5 has a lot more like adult S-Links. I want to say like half of them are.
I think about half, because the, let's see here, the teenager ones are Hifumi, there's the one kid,
Yeah.
the fortune teller's an adult, she just looks young.
Reen from Reen's in that Reen as well.
Yeah.
I can't Mishima, that was his name. Somehow worse than the other Mishimas.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have learned Mishima style karate.
I was just like he's the other son of Heihachi. He just fucking hates him so much that he just pretends he doesn't exist.
Hey, pretty sure you'd be hard pressed to find the son Heihachi doesn't hate, except ironically maybe Lars, since he saw Lars and he didn't immediately punch him.
That is true. Weirdly, Lars is the one he respects the most.
Probably because Lars is like, this is some bullshit. And Heihachi's like, I agree, this is some bullshit. And it's not my fault.
And I hope you're not doing anything embarrassing like fucking a robot.
I mean,
Ah, damn it!
Heihachi doesn't get to complain about people doing embarrassing things.
It's true.
Remember that time he tried to like launch all of the Mishima, all of his family into like space, and then accidentally went to space with them?
Yeah.
Remember that time he lost a fighting tournament to his own bear who he trained in karate, and then tried to rob him of his rights, only to be out fucking smarted by Kuma.
Actually, no. The one ending he does win in the end because he reversed the button so Kuma drops himself down the pit.
I'm talking about the one where he like hands all the contracts to Kuma, who signs it by putting paw prints. Then he tries to like hand a contract to re-give all of his things back to.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't work.
Kuma just fucking slaps him in the face. That's my cat. That's the.
God, I love Tekken. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about this when I was driving about why why Tekken Bowl is like one of the funniest fucking like side games, because so they have like in the fucking stands watching you bowl are a bunch of Tekken Force soldiers, which are these guys look scary and badass, and then while you bowl they just start like doing clapping and cheerleading like kind of shit, and it's the best shit, and it's why I love Tekken. Because they're just like, yeah, they'll make something look cool and serious, and then they're just like, yeah, we'll be stupid, it's fine. I love it when something is cool without really trying, where it's just fine with just being silly, because that just makes it cooler, in my opinion.
Yes. I mean, I think Tekken is made entirely is like that fighting game where it's made up, where it is made by its supporting cast of characters just being so, like fucking Paul is the best. Like Paul is Guile if Guile didn't suck.
Yeah. And Paul is hilarious.
Yeah, fucking Paul said he pulls Trump where he beats someone. It's like, okay, I've won the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, and then it's like, but Paul, what about True Ogre? What? True what now?
Yeah, I find that really funny that canonically he won Tekken 3's tournament and beat regular Ogre, but then he just went home before he transformed.
So Jin gets to win instead.
Even though technically Jin lost.
Yeah, well. That's what you get, Paul, for leaving a job half done. I fucking love the fucking martial law. Just poor bastards.
He can't win. He can't win. No matter how hard he tries, he just gets fucked.
Oh fuck! What's the name of the guy who simps for Julia?
Ganryu.
Ganryu. You feel bad for Ganryu. I thought it was Ganryu, but I was like,
I would say I felt sorry for him up until he got brought back into 7 and basically turned into the Fedora guys with their e-girl. And she's actively just fucking disgusted by him. That face was so good it was my avatar for a long time on Discord.
I don't know why. Man, I really wish we could get like Julia Chang and JC in a game together. Weird how they've never been on screen ever.
Yeah, isn't it? Oh, I already fucked up. It looks like during one of the attacks for this boss. So I'm going to miss out on some attack points. It looks like.
Yeah. Clear. I mean, if you just purchase the stuff, if you just get like, if you power level to the upgrades that give you like bonus attack points, then that usually doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. I'm mainly saving my attack points for the attack management thing.
Yeah.
While I occasionally give certain pilots certain things. Like, if they get ace, I usually give them ace, especially if it's like fucking Siguri and shit. I mean, she doesn't have it yet, but I'm just talking about like how I've been playing in my own playthrough. On that playthrough, I did manage to get the 100 for beating this guy in one shot. Which is... yeah, destroy with a single attack, yep. Which is a shame that I'm not gonna get it this time, but oh well.
Oh well. These things happen.
I mean, I'll either get the best ending in this recorded playthrough, or I won't. It's harder to get best endings in recorded playthroughs than it is when you're just playing on your own, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll probably manage it, it's not that difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I just gotta save my attack points is all. And not spend it on stupid shit.
It's just like life.
Spending it on stupid shit.
Spending it on that Rami figure right now.
There isn't a Rami figure. I have her as my avatar, but it's because I couldn't find the Shigiri doing the smug smile. I love her smug smile in this game.
Fair.
They're both really good. They're both good characters. I like them both so much.
Man. You remember fight game tournaments? Me neither.
I was gonna say. What fighting game tournaments?
I actually would wonder if the FGC is just ever going to recover after.
I legit don't know.
Because it's not even just like the whammy of COVID, right? It's the whammy of like, well, it's the triple whammy. Because then came the fucking Evo guy, getting like.
Because Evo in general had like there was the owner of Evo, but then there was like all the various competitors. To like, I literally keep making the joke where I'm like, yeah, Evo's fuck. It's just full of sex offenders, and if you go over there, you can find the pedophile section. Yeah, right there in the melee area.
But then it wasn't even just like entirely like Smash Bros. It was across the whole FGC. It's just Smash Bros. Got the.
Oh yeah, no, that was a joke. I said the entire thing was just full of like sexual predators and sexually harassing assholes. And if you go over there, you can find the pedophile section in the melee tournament. That was the joke that I just did.
You cut out a bit, so I didn't hear the first
Oh,
one.
okay.
I just thought it was just a...
No, just everything.
and then,
And you know, it
and
does
he was
explain why. Well, you know, it does explain to me why you don't see a lot of women in like professional play.
You can't play games in the kitchen, then, that's why.
Train, I'll slap you.
I was hoping you'd laugh, because I work on the basis that you can't get offended if you laugh at it.
It wasn't really funny.
No. It was too easy.
God, I fucking hate the Trider. It's so shit. It's such a shit robot. It has no good spirit commands. Why are you here, Wada? I know why you're here, but why are you here, Wada? Go home. I can't wait for this thing to be over and I have enough robots to where I don't need you again. Right now, you're just a space filler. Because you're slightly stronger than bringing out the fucking Avestial Custom. I'm not stupid enough to pull that out, jeez.
That being said, the Estevalis Custom does have infinite energy.
Oh wait, no, not the Custom, the Super, sorry. The Custom is what I use.
Even the Super has, as long as it's near the Nadesco, has infinite energy though, and that's always handy.
Oh, I didn't know that. Ah, damn, I'm sorry. I've been slacking on you. You'd still be useful now. And I can put Trider back in the fucking ship. Damn it! I think when I was playing V, I occasionally brought him out just for funsies, but I rarely used him that much.
Who?
The Super Vestial. Or Vestial. Ryoko I pulled out more because she was just better.
I mean,
But you know, eventually she got benched too. And I only pull her out every now and then just for funs.
Well, I mean, the other problem, like, the Estevalis units have, aside from the infinite energy, is their other main advantage of being, like, a small, quick unit. It's like, well, the Ange stuff is quicker and harder to hit than they are.
Yeah. This game has that with the Dunbine units.
Yeah,
Because, Dunbine units kind of take Ryoko's spot in this game.
Dunbine units are also pretty trash until until you get to, well, basically the part you're up to where you get the Magic Knight. Oh, they're not.
Well, yeah, you only get the one at first because you get the Turbine and it's kind of not great. I keep bringing it out occasionally just to keep his XP up and keep his kills up for when I'm going to need it and for when he gets buffed up, because that's going to happen. But I typically rely more on the Billbine and the Dunbine. Because they're a little better than the Turbine at first.
Yeah.
I mean, I also have the rival guys on my team, but I've not used him.
What's his name? The fucking not Jared guy.
Yeah.
It's like Alan or something.
I'm forgetting his fucking name. But I did get the thing to unlock him.
I like when you unlock when you get like the fucking Billbine, you can have it be like, oh, but if we paint it this color, then it will still be a show unit. And then if you decide to keep it as a show unit, he's like, what the fuck, man? Give me the Dunbine. Fuck Alan. I hope that's his name.
We'll call him Todd.
Like, anyway, he has an. Oh, is he Todd?
No, I just said we'll call him Todd. Hey, Todd. How you doing, Todd? Oh. You know, one of two things are going to happen. When he actually shows up in this playthrough, I'm either going to remember that, and every time I see him go, hello, Todd, oh. Or I'm just going to completely forget about it, like, in T-minus after this recording.
I've already forgotten about it.
Forgot about what?
Exactly.
So anyway, Todd.
Man. I mean, you gotta almost admire, though, to be the balls to be the one senator who votes on giving people money.
Votes against it.
Yeah, he's like, no, I don't think these people deserve money.
Well, you see, it's not that hard, Train, when you have when all you have to do to protect yourself from harm is to curl up your little hands and your feet and your head into your little shell and just hide in there, and then you're impervious to damage.
You gotta.
Just don't flip him on his back. He might not be able to get up.
You gotta give him credit though, that he actually did manage to just not outright say "fuck the poor." That takes an alarming amount of self-restraint for someone.
I mean, he's been doing it for years, because, I mean, he's like the richest senator, and Kentucky's one of the poorest states in the country.
Fuck the poor.
Yeah. So he's had practice on not outright saying it, but still getting it.
You know what? He feels like Mike in a Red Letter Media Best and the Worst.
Fuck the poor.
Well, no, where everyone's like unanimous, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is obviously the best one," and he's like, "Oh, is it now?"
I'm big contrarian.
Yeah, they all just sat there trying to decide what is the best, worst movie. All of Congress.
I'll only okay this if all of those $2,000 checks go directly into my bank account.
Do you think if they point out, yeah, you get the $2,000 as well, you okay it?
He might. I think he's more sad that money would go to people's bills and shit, and not go to buying Republican politicians.
Well, no, let's be fair, Dan. They buy every politician.
I mean, yes, but that's the reason why he's upset. He doesn't care if the Democrats get bought out. He just cares about if he gets bought out.
I know I've asked this privately. If I asked this in recording about if lobbying is just fraud, well...
it's considered... no, because it's considered a donation.
But it's not... But
it's not. Yeah, we know. We know it's not. Everyone knows it's not, but they allow it.
But it's...
because Reagan got rid of the whole... Because Reagan fucked up the whole thing where you couldn't just buy people via donations.
I've literally...
Ronald Reagan fucked a lot of shit in this country.
I always like having to hear YouTubers accidentally admit, like, where they go, "Oh yeah, I got given this thing and I felt bad, and so I felt bad about saying bad things." It's like you've literally just kind of proven exactly what they were trying to do there.
Yeah.
You idiot. They gave you free shit, so you would feel bad about saying negative things.
Yeah.
So you idiots.
I'll give credit to the caddy though with it. Like, he was honest with it, but he was pretty harsh on the PS5 and like, yeah, this isn't worth the money right now, guys. Like, it's not a bad system, but there's like nothing on it. This is not worth the amount of money it costs. And like, he broke down how much it cost for him, and then even broke it down by US dollars. So, yeah, I'll give him credit for it at least. He's like, yeah, they gave it to me, but I'm not going to let that paint what I say. So he's like, yeah, I don't recommend buying it right now, because it's really not worth the money, because there's not really much to do on it.
And also because you can't buy it right now.
Well.
So, that's probably also the biggest reasons for the thing, is that, well, they're already all sold out, so you can't buy any even if you want one.
Yeah. My one, Carl's been trying to get one for ages, and I'm just like, Carl, just wait. Just wait until we've gone a couple of, production cycles, and they'll be more stable, and...
Yeah, but Carl's like, you know what Carl's like, he's super, impulsive, like that.
Yeah, and he was like that with the Switch, too, and I was like... Because he wanted to buy, it... And he wanted to buy, fucking Breath of the Wild again. And I was like, but you already have Breath of the Wild. You just bought it. I own some games on different consoles, but a lot of times they're not $60 games.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if I do own one that at one point was $60 on a second console, I was either A, gifted it, or B, I got it on a massive Steam sale.
Pretty much. Like, there are games I own multiple times on different systems, but it's either because they're A, like, enhanced with additional things that I actually did want, or the other thing is that maybe I'm just a little bit too lazy to try and dig out my old PS2 at this point.
Right? No. I see re-releases onto like next gen hardware. I understand.
Oh yeah. I don't like buy a game I got on PS3 and then buy it again on PS4.
One that I bought twice that was more recent was Streets of Rage 4. Because I bought it on PC first, and I played through it on PC, and then I bought the Switch version for two reasons. 1, physical edition, and 2, to play it at work on break.
Yeah.
Because I do buy games on the Switch that I have on other things sometimes, just because I want to play them on break. Because the Switch is probably my favorite system because of the whole portability bullshit.
That's where I got Hades for.
That makes sense. I got gifted Hades. Oh, and I mentioned this to you, but I mentioned on recording. If I was probably to redo my top 10, Hades would probably be in the top 5 spot. I just gotta look and see where... It would probably bump down Crash, actually, is where I think it would go. I think it would bump Crash out of the top 5. Because I remember Crash was number 5, because we both had Crash on number 5.
Yeah. Just because it was so middle... it was there mostly because it was so middle of the road, because it's like, yeah, it has a lot of great points, but, like... It then... But I think a lot of it comes down to how much do you enjoy... How much enjoyment do you get from playing it, and there are definitely parts of it where I'm like, I am just flat out not enjoying this, because it doesn't feel like a... It didn't feel like a fair escalation of challenge.
No, it really didn't.
There's a difference between being challenging and then being unfair.
It felt like kind of like how 1 would just kind of spike at you, like the original one. Like that's actually why like my favorite Crashes are 2 and 3 overall in terms of like their difficulty, because they don't.
Sorry, this is a bit off. This is a bit off topic, right? And you can appreciate this because I've been playing like DMC5 Bloody Palace while you've been playing that. As something just for me to do. And I was playing against Cavalier Angelo, and we just had a chain of parries that was like 10 parries long.
Good.
We just sat there and just kept hitting each other. It's like, and it's literally just that fucking, you know everything I'm going to do, but I know everything you're going to do as well. Strange, isn't it?
Or the fucking Kingpin comic panel where he's like, what was it? He's like, Taskmaster was gonna I knew Taskmaster was hired to kill me, so I hired no. Moon Knight was coming to kill me, so I hired Taskmaster to deal with him, and they've just been punching each other for 11 hours, and he just looks so done.
Actually, kind of reminds me. So, for some reason, me and a friend were talking about Spider-Gwen, and he sort of detailed me like more on her world, and then he just said that in that world, like. Wilson Fisk is the Kingpin, sure, but also his lawyer is Daredevil and he's evil. And it got me thinking, evil Daredevil is such a dumb concept. Not for the usual heroes as being villains as silly, but what is especially bad about Daredevil is because Daredevil is blind. So, if you have him as a bad guy, then you just have your good guy who you want to portray as good and righteous punch a blind man.
I mean, I get that, but yeah, he's basically he actually eventually takes over as Kingpin. He eventually usurps.
But that's what I'm saying. It's still at a certain point you are punching in it, you are beating up on an invalid. Like I remember, there's this fucking Spider-Man comic that I can't remember the name of, but it was like this anniversary kind of through the ages thing of following Spidey, and it has a bit where it's like sort of not Civil War, but making fun of, but kind of like a Civil War storyline ish that happens in it. And like, there's this part where Iron Man, they're talking about how they've arrested Daredevil, and Iron Man's like, yeah, so we unmasked it. Turned out he was a blind civil rights lawyer, so that's gone down really well with the public. So it's that kind of thing. Of at a certain point, like, yeah, he's a blind man with the superpower to see, but he's still a blind man. So at a certain point, it's like it's a bit hard to kind of go, yeah, beat up that blind man.
I guess. It's
like how you'd feel bad if Professor X was treated as a bad guy, because I mean he is a bad guy. And then at a certain point it's like, yeah, you're just kind of hitting a guy who's in a wheelchair.
Depending on if he's in the wheelchair today or not.
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. We accept Professor X is a bad guy anyway. But I mean, if the story was like, yeah, he is a bad guy, instead of like Reed Richards, where he's technically a good guy, but I mean,
he's caused more shit than a lot of villains have. Kind of like Scarlet Witch. But anyway, that's enough for Super Robot Wars. It's time to leave, and it's time to leave. But no joke about punching the blind people before I cut it up.